Assalamu alaikum. It's Najiyah here with Daybreak Press, and welcome to Daybreak Live. We have, I actually accidentally began our interview on the wrong channel, the wrong account. And so let's see if we can find Nasreen. There she is. Alhamdulillah. All right. Nasreen. Now we can, alhamdulillah, go on to a beautiful, successful, and there she is. Nasreen, salam alaikum. I apologize for the delay.
No problem at all. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
Wallah, alhamdulillah. I'm so happy to see you. I love your color palette behind you.
Thank you so much. It's done especially for this interview.
Oh, nice. And your scarf matches.
Thank you so much.
All the details, mashallah. All right, so I was telling everybody that this is Nasreen Variyawa, right?
That's correct.
Variyawa. Okay. And Nasreen is from India, and she is an extremely successful author in her own right. And she's done authoring and co-authoring, which are two completely different skills. And she has an author coaching business. Now, let me tell you, when I first saw her book, which her book is, can you hold it up for us?
Sure.
Exceptional authors are authentic. So when I first saw this book, I assumed it would be like all of the other books about writing. Like it would be about showing and not telling, it would be about character development, setting, all those kinds of things. And then when I read the book, I was shocked to find that not only is it not about those things, it's also not about things like, oh, your flow, this is how you edit, setting up your routine, finding your style. It's not about those things either. You guys, Nasreen's book is about creating the person you want to be so that you can then enable yourself to write. It is about becoming an author inside yourself. And it's not just woo-woo inspiration either. This book gives you specific ways that you can strengthen the skills that you need. It has a lot about true self-care. And we're not talking about go to the movies and then take a bath and eat bonbons in the bathtub. No, we're talking about developmental self-care. And it has a lot about becoming a person who is motivated by her own stories, by her own desire to tell the stories. And it doesn't just tell you, okay, go be motivated and now I'm going to drop you off a cliff. It's go be motivated and here are the tools to actually get the job done. So Nasreen, can you give us a little bit of background on the books you have written and on the awards you won previous to this?
Thank you so much, Najiyah, for that absolutely wonderful welcome and introduction to me. I started my authoring career some years ago as a challenge that was given to me on a leadership program to complete a book in a month. And I wrote Ignite the Champion Within and Inspire Others to Begin. It's a book of quotes that I had collected over the years, thoughts that went through my mind, through my experiences and my life. And that became a bestseller. I then wrote Aspire to Inspire, which is motivational poetry. And that became a bestseller. And suddenly I started getting all these requests for editing and book coaching. And that is how Nasreen Pro Authoring came about. Exceptional Authors Are Authentic is a result of my experience with at least 15 authors. And
wow, mashallah.
The common questions, concerns that they have as authors. I collected those, and I realized that sometimes we need to talk to authors at one go. Because if a majority part of your coaching is about dealing with lifestyle issues and how to actually become the author, then how much of your time do you actually have to coach for the actual book?
Right.
So I always believe that it's like painting a wall. If you just throw the paint on, it's not going to look great. But if you prime the wall, which is establishing the kind of lifestyle and the kind of person you need to become that author, then the author is going to look good when they eventually publish. So that's what
Beautiful.
motivated the book.
By the way, guys, if you missed some of the titles that she just rattled off, they are listed in the back of the book, as well as how you can get a hold of them. So tell us about the list of authentic traits. Now, you guys know what an acrostic poem is, where you take a word like broaden, for example, and you make something for the R, the A. So Nasreen has created an entire book that uses the word authentic and talks about from different angles and about different exercise skills that we want to develop that we can use. And she uses the first letters of authentic. So the first one is A, the second one is U. So Nasreen, can you give us a quick shot of what the list contains in brief?
Sure. So when we look at the word authentic and we look at A in particular, we're looking at authenticity in itself and what it means to be authentic in both personality, in lifestyle, and eventually how that filters down into writing. Under A, we also look at your aptitude, we look at your attitude, and how those coexist to actually create both an authentic author and someone that becomes sustainable in the industry. Because without both of those, I think you'll agree with me, Najiyah, it's very, very difficult to establish yourself. Millions of books are being published daily and you've got to stand out. And it's only your authenticity that people will buy into that will get those books sold, that will get your
Exactly.
books visible, right? So we talk about those things.
Intuitively. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead. Have a leg.
And I'm going to go through each one briefly, not too much. The U's deal with leading an uninhibited lifestyle. And by uninhibited, I mean being excited about life, not being afraid to walk up to a person and ask them something, not being afraid to start a conversation with the person next to you on a train, in a bus, wherever you are, in a coffee shop, because it's meetings like that that actually get stories going. Okay, when we look at the T, we're talking about your time management, and we're not specifically talking only about how to manage your time. We're talking about the timing of things. If you've done a leadership program, I think you'll agree with me that timing is absolutely important. What you do, when you do it, how you do it, when do you say it, and how that has to come and play a role in your development of your personality and your character and the way you do things as an author. Because being an author today is not limited to just sitting at that window and typing up a book that suddenly an agent sells and it becomes a bestseller. It's you've got to be you've got to be amenable. You've got to be reachable. You've got to be able to talk to your audiences. You've got to be able to interact with them, because that's who they buy into. They buy into you first, and then they buy into your books.
Amen.
Then we also talk about travel and why we need to be awake as travelers, and what travel does for authoring, how locations feed into your locations for your book, how experiences when you travel, people that you meet feed into the characters of your book, how things that you observe around you become things that you describe in your book, and how to take that and authenticate it for your book. Then we look at E and exercise and what that means for your energy levels for when you are writing the book or managing your daily interaction with people, managing your travel inclusive of your writing because of your energy levels. But it's also about H, the health, what foods you eat, what's good brain food, how should you snack, what should you snack on, what should you drink, whether or not being overweight actually makes or breaks you as an author. It doesn't, in my experience, but it certainly plays a role in your energy levels and your ability to think on your feet and your ability to have interviews like this. And everybody wants to look healthy and everybody wants to look great on that back cover when they publish that photo. But you can't do it unless you put in the work. You've got to exercise, you've got to eat healthy, you've got to be healthy, you've got to be excited about who you're becoming. Then we talk about your troubles and how to deal with them, and journal writing comes into that, and how you can use your journal writing to deal with your with things like with the writer's block, and how that can unlock that part of writing where everybody believes that they have writer's block, but actually it's something else that's blocking you. Either it's your ill health, or it's a problem you're currently experiencing that if you write about, you can actually get past, because through writing you find solutions. Then we talk about navigating yourself, self-leadership, and what that means. Things like discipline, things like giving up one thing for the other, things like making sacrifices, giving up certain parts of your lifestyle that will enable you to put your time into writing. If you really want to be a writer, how badly do you want it is the question. Then we talk about intuition and how to develop that, and why that's important for being an author, why that's important for being an author coach. Communication skills and what that means for an author in this millennium. Because it's no longer about just being the author that sits behind the scenes while the agent sells. Like I said, people buy into you first and then they buy into your books. And we talk about commitment and what that means when you're an author, with the different role players, your publishers, your distributors, your book coachees.
Nice. Beautiful. That was a great headline for authentic. I especially loved how you talked about disconnecting the idea of weight from health, but that health is the goal. The goal isn't, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. The goal is to be healthy at any weight, and the goal is to use that health toward your goals, subhanAllah. The goal of being an author. And I like what you said about traveling. And it made me think of, you know, how we always say you need to read as a writer, read as an author. When you're reading other people, when you're reading books, learn from what they're saying, learn from their style, take from other people's writing things that can improve your own writing. So we say read as a writer. And I think that we can also travel as a writer. So you can travel and just, you know, like enjoy your time, or you can travel and notice those details of the location, notice the ambiance and the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And how you feel and how you can express that. Wallah, so amazing.
Najiyah, you're breaking up a bit. I can't hear you. Your words are fragmented.
Oh, I'm so sorry. If is anybody else experiencing the same? Can you put it in the comments? Is it better now?
I don't know whether the network is down or we're having problems with
I don't know either.
With Instagram.
Let me do here a test on. Okay. Anybody, if anybody who's watching is having experience. Okay, Shabnam says it's fine for her. There's no problem. Turkey from Miriam. All right, how is it now? Can you hear my audio better now?
I'm getting parts of you. Maybe we should just
Okay, how about,
carry on since everybody else can hear us.
yeah, so let me ask you. Okay, I'll ask you, and then if you couldn't understand me well enough, I'll type it in the comments, okay? Can you tell us about what you offer as an author coach and how you see your clients benefiting from those specific things? Did you hear, or shall I
I
write it?
didn't get that question. It's completely fragmented. Yeah, sure.
What what should I write? What do you offer as a coach, and how do you see your clients benefiting from those services? Okay, can you see it in the comments?
What do you offer as a coach, and how do you see your clients benefiting from those services? When clients come to me, generally, they have an idea of what they would like to write about, or they have no idea. They're working or toying with a couple of ideas. So the first thing I like to do, and I believe in this completely, is I like to establish a relationship of trust with them first. Once we get to that space where they get talking, then I like to spend at least 2 to 3 hours with them, tapping into their thoughts about why they think they want to write about particular things. We also talk about whether or not they just want to publish a book because they want to be published authors, or whether or not they want that to feed into their businesses. In other words, using your book to leverage another income. So once we have an understanding of that, then that helps me to sort of provide clarity as to which ideas will work and which ideas won't, and why, and to give them a clearer picture of what they can expect if they proceed with the routes that I'm suggesting. Because when authors don't have an understanding of the business aspect of writing a book, where they think that you just write a book, it gets on a shelf and it sells, and that's how you make your money.
It sells
It
itself.
used to work like that. It doesn't anymore. There's a whole lot more that you need to know and work at in order to get this book visible, at least to the very minimum. So once we go through those aspects and the author is keen to begin, then begins the process of actually tapping into their ideas and getting them to put that down on paper. And then we spend another session or two actually breaking that down into different chapters and discussing how we're going to put flesh to that framework. Because the ideas are with the author, and the author needs to spend a significant amount of time putting those kinds of plans in place before they actually start writing a book. Because I think you'll agree with me, once the plan is in place, it doesn't take long to write the book. The
Yeah.
book then flows.
Yes, and so many of us authors are creative types. We focus on that, the creating of the book at the beginning. We don't realize that we need to start with the goal and work backwards. Start with
Exactly.
put the things in place that will help us reach the goal, and and then write the book, or write the book along the way. But you have to be thinking of those things while you're still writing. So many
Yes.
people, yeah, people wind up with a finished book, but no platform to begin marketing from, no idea how they're gonna, achieve any of the actual selling.
Yeah. So a
Really,
lot of authors come blank on that score.
yeah,
And you need to paint the picture of where they can take the book if they go that route, you
yeah,
know. Then it becomes something that's achievable in their headspaces. And
yeah.
once that is established, then authors are run away, because then they have a plan and they become excited about materializing that.
Yes, yes. And even for most authors, it's just beginning, even just knowing what the structure of different options are. What is self-publishing? How is it different from hybrid versus traditional?
Mhm.
Just knowing those things gives them a place to start.
But authors also want to be heard, Najiyah. They want to be important. They want to be treated as important people. They want their ideas to be treated as important. And that's why I say that establishing a relationship of trust with your coachee is the first thing you have to do. Otherwise, you'll never get to the other points.
So,
And they'll never get excited about anything else that you tell them about what lies ahead.
so how do you
So
go
for
about,
me, that is,
oh, sorry. So
you
how do you
breaking
go,
up.
sorry, I'm going to type it, okay? How do you go about that trust?
Um, I've been very lucky in that I've never had to market myself as a book coach, and I've never had to call up people randomly and say, these are the services I've offered. I have a website, I have author page. Allah has been very kind in that all the authors that I work with usually refer other authors to me because of their experiences. So when other authors or prospective authors see the kind of progress that their colleagues are making or their friends are making or people in their families are making, that in itself, I believe, is the biggest marketing tool that there is. When authors come to me, that already in itself is like that wall that I'm talking about, where it's already primed. They already have an idea of who they're working with. But if I'm working with someone completely new, I like to establish trust by talking about them.
Mm.
I need to know who they are, what is important to them, why they want to do this. You even have to go, not because you have to, but because you genuinely have an interest. You have an interest in their families. You have an interest in the time that they have available to write. You have an interest in their health. You have an interest in, you have to show and demonstrate a vested interest in their success. Now, when you talk about the possibilities of leveraging, for example, an income from their books, and they start to see that you are invested in their success because
So important.
you have a plan for them, then that is the way to establish trust, because you're not just talking to them about their personal lives. You're talking to them about how to create something completely different for themselves. And almost always, that's a winner because it's a winner because it's sincere. I
Yeah, of
don't have an
course.
author that I've worked with that I've let go of after they've become published. I still take an interest in their marketing, and showing them the road and showing them new ideas and new ways of leveraging other income well after they've published. So they're still with me.
Beautiful. So
And
it's a
if you
partnership.
want to, yeah, if you want to establish trust and if you want to establish long-term working relationships, not only in authoring, in anything that you do, you've got to be sincere and you've got to have people's vested interests at heart. You got to want to see your people genuinely succeed.
Yeah, it's a heart to heart kind of operation. Heart
Absolutely.
and work to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit here and tell us about where you were when you learned that last year that you had won the Daybreak Press Book Award.
I was being discharged from hospital.
Oh my goodness, the story.
I was being discharged from hospital when I checked my emails, and I got the email to say that I had won the Daybreak Book Press Award for nonfiction book. So it completely lifted my spirits
Oh,
to know that I was among the finalists.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. What a beautiful story. That's the best one yet. Oh, so have you found any audiences? Tell us how the award has kind of opened up horizons, or how you've experienced marketing differently or talking to people about your book differently.
I think one of the most important things that has happened is not book sales, but I've had an influx of authors who have expressed an interest in wanting to be coached into writing
Mm,
significantly good books, books that will impact the ummah.
mashallah.
Um, and I'm extremely excited about that. That I'm attracting an audience that is interested in making an impact where the ummah is concerned. For example, I've had an author come through who is now working on a book about science and Islam
Oh, nice.
based on her own experience of having kind of left Islam and then come back into the fold. I'm working with not the ex, but the Mother's No author, Fiola Dawood,
Oh, yeah.
again on her book, on a new book about why it is okay to move on with your life after divorce.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working again with Pearls of Noor author Shams and Noor on her second installment of Pearls of Noor. Um,
Wow.
and I get so many queries all the time, and I talk to so many people. I probably take up all your time telling you about every author that I'm going to be working with. But Alhamdulillah, the award, it has not generated book sales, but that's quite okay. It's okay that I'm leveraging an income from it through
Beautiful.
other means, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because you have two goals with that, with the book. Like talking for your clients, you have the goal as well, having that book be something that brings people to your services. MashaAllah.
Yeah, and the exciting news is that a second installment of Exceptional Authors Are Authentic is coming.
Nice.
This edition is going to have a workbook with it, and it should be ready for publishing by the end of the year. It won't make a Daybreak Press Award this year, but certainly the second edition is a notch up. It's got a lot more for authors. I think this was just a window on the world. The second edition is going to be a magnifying glass into authoring, inshallah. Uh, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm very excited about that.
Oh, Mabruk, congratulations. That's wonderful. Not just for you, but for us as well. For all.
Absolutely.
So, listen, guys, I have seen Nasreen speak, and I have been in one of her workshops, and let me tell you, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
So resources, so well structured. So the PowerPoint went so beautifully with what she was teaching, and we, like me as an author and publisher, and everyone who was at the conference where she spoke, we all gained a lot from it. So if you're in the market for having a speaker, tell us, Nasreen, how people can get a hold of you.
My email is the best way to get a hold of me if you'd like me to speak at your event. Exceptionalauthor@gmail.com is where you can reach me, and I'll respond to all emails for that right there. I look forward to doing a lot more work. Najiyah, my husband, is from the United States. Inshallah, one of these days I will be there too. I look forward to coming over to Daybreak Press. I look forward to working with the rest of the team and giving my time off to the Ummah as well.
All right, you know we're going to hold you to that, girl. We're going to
You
hold
can
you to.
hold me to that. I'll be knocking on your door.
All right, guys. So the Daybreak Press Book Awards for 2022 is open for submissions. So please head over to Miriam. If you're still with us, if you could type the link for people to go to submit their books. And the deadline for that is July 31st. The announcements of the winners will be in September. And then, of course, the ceremony for awarding the medals and certificates will be at the end of October. Any parting words for us, Nasreen?
As always, keep shining, smiling, and writing.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's not up where you are. So we really appreciate you giving us your evening and nighttime.
It's always a pleasure, Najiyah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to doing a lot more work with you, inshallah.
All right, there's that link, guys. If you go there and go to the Daybreak Press part, then you'll find where you can submit your book for this awards. Thank you so much, Nasreen, and we look forward to reading your book/workbook, both for ourselves and for next year's awards, inshallah.
Remember me in your du'as, and the book will be over as soon as I'm finished with it, inshallah.
All right, same. We appreciate all your du'as. Jazakallah khair for coming, and thank you, everybody. We will see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time for Daybreak Live. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.